Hey guys, AJAX 22 here, back in the States and working on some projects. Just got this little toy and I'm really excited about it. This is an FN manufactured Browning Auto 5, very similar to the Remington Model 11, and a couple other manufacturers actually made a version of this. The world's first auto-loading shotgun. Real John Moses Browning design. These are absolutely great guns. I have a couple others of these, which I actually bought to make Whippet guns out of, but they were just too nice when they finally showed up and I couldn't bring myself to cut them down. This one is actually crusty enough that I don't think I'm going to feel bad about sawing it off and turning it into a Whippet gun. So that's the game plan. We're going to see if we can free her up, see about removing some of this rust, getting her functional, and then we'll do the original Clyde barrel, 18-inch saw off on the barrel, and then we'll come back here and right behind the spring tube we'll cut her down and maybe fabricate a butt plate. I think the story behind this was that it was in a house fire. It doesn't look like it got too terribly hot. They usually does quite a bit more damage to the wood than that. So I'm not terribly concerned with the metallurgy, but I'll be testing it anyway. Yeah, these are great guns. It's gonna be fun tearing this apart and seeing how she looks inside. I have a lot of faith in John Moses Browning designs. So far, everything of his that I've touched has been able to come back to life, and that's really saying something considering the condition of some of these guns. But yeah, you can tell it's the Browning and not the Remington by the mag tube latch that allows you to single load it. It's almost a silly feature, really. It's just one more thing to prevent semi-auto function in a gun that's a semi-auto. So yeah, getting the barrel off is going to be the first step. And then freeing that bolt up a little bit. And yeah, I already ran a stick down the bore to check to see if there was a shell in the chamber, and there's not. Yeah, it's not loaded. So before I get a million messages with people asking me, hey, if you check to make sure that's loaded, don't touch that trigger before you make sure that it's loaded. Well, I checked, I made sure that it wasn't loaded, and it should be good. There's nothing in the mag tube, nothing in the chamber. Unless something miraculously appears, I can't imagine that it's going to be an issue for me to touch that trigger. So, all good. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a real fun one. Going to have to track down a little bit of hardware on that front end. Looks like everything's there for the friction ring assembly, I think. Yeah, I think everything's there for the friction ring assembly. I'm not as up on those as I should be for a guy who absolutely loves these guns. I usually just set them at low brass and only shoot that through them. But yeah, this is going to be a great gun. Don't know how I feel about cutting down the Ven rib barrel. I guess I'm just going to have to get over it, or maybe pull a barrel off of one of my other guns. I think I have a spare barrel for one of these somewhere that I shouldn't be too big of an issue to cut down. I don't think it's anything terribly special. It does look like the trigger was gold plated at some point, which that's different than all my other guns. I'm gonna have to do some research on this. If anybody knows anything about these, serial number is 99809, and the number on top 68 or 69G. 69G 99809. Yeah, that's pretty crusty on the inside, but I'll bet we can get her shooting. That'd actually be willing to wager a decent amount of money. Oh, before I forget, this is actually the first gun that was 100% purchased using ad revenue from these videos. This gun cost $95, and over the course of these 100 and some odd videos, the clicks and or views of these videos have generated pretty much exactly that. So, yay. This was a quote-unquote free shotgun. So thanks, guys. You bought me a gun. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. All right. Oh, before I forget, I got a new electrolysis tank. Picked it up at Target. It should be able to be long enough to do the entire receiver and or barrel of these assembled shotguns without having to cut them down ahead of time. So I'm going to use it on the 870 project. I'm going to use it on this, Browning Auto 5 project. I'm going to use it on that Stevens, single shot project. I mean, just all the rifles. Now I think I'm going to start getting into the rifles. The only thing is I need to get a full-length electrode that I can bend a 90-degree angle on. So that's going to be the next step. Well, the absolute next step is going to be trying to see if I can get this stock off. Yeah, and maybe if I can, get some penetrating oil into the cracks on that barrel and can free it up by itself, that would be ideal. I think the friction ring is supposed to be brass on these. Doesn't really look like brass, but I really don't want to put dissimilar metals into the electrolysis. I don't know what that's going to do. All right. Well, that's what we got for this project. So I'm going to get on it. Have a good one, guys.